Now to get ready to dual boot, the first thing you need to do is have some disk space to create a partition so that you can load your second operating system onto the disk. So notice right here I have Windows 7 running on this machine, okay? And so what I'm going to do is right click on my computer and go to manage. Now what I'm really trying to get to is disk management. So whatever little shortcut or trick you know how to get to disk management, do that. I always right click on my computer and go to manage. There's about 43 million ways to get there, it seems. So I'll click on disk management. Sometimes it'll take this just a few minutes to open up. And notice that I have a disk, a single disk here, and I have 60 gigabytes on it. And this is where my Windows 7 is located. And if I look right up here on C, let me make this actions go away. All right. Yeah, you can tell, actually I can do it right here, that I have 60 gigs, 59.9, and I have 40 gigs of free space. Well, I only need about 20 gigs to load this. So what I'm going to do is come down here on this partition, right click it, and I'm going to shrink this volume. And it's going to query it, do some clunking and chunking here for just a minute, and then it's going to ask me exactly how I want to take care of this. And so this is going to be the first step, is to make sure you have an unallocated partition out there that you can install your second operating system into. In our case here, right, it's going to be Windows 8. And so after just a few seconds, you'll see this shrink C windows pop up, and notice the total size before the shrink, the size of available shrink. So anybody, how much space do I want to shrink off of this, and what will be the size after the shrink? Well, I'm just going to pull this down to 20,000, okay? So that's going to be 20 gigs that I'll have, and it'll leave 41 gigs. And so now I just click shrink, and same thing, it's going to click and hum just a few minutes here. Then you're going to see that this thing is going to shrink down to whatever size I told it, and then I will see some unallocated space out here. So we just completed the shrink. Notice we have 19.53 gigabytes unallocated space, and so now I am ready to use my USB tool that I talked about in the previous video, and we will now jump out there and load this particular operating system. We'll boot up, it'll ask where to put it, and it'll take care of dual booting for us. So join me in the next video, Dual Booting Windows 8 Part 1, and we'll get started.